Greetings, friends and Firebirds fans, and welcome to the Fire and Ice podcast presented by Desert Willow Golf Resort. Fire and Ice, the official podcast of your Coachella Valley Firebirds, two-time Western Conference champions of the American Hockey League. Coming to you from Palm Desert, California, mere 6-iron away, I guess I can say off-season 6-iron away from the Birds Barn of Acrisure Arena. I'm your host, Judd Spicer, along with this endeavor, which includes this epilogue episode. Oh, good alliteration there. Includes this episode. Also, again, through this third season now, have the pleasure of serving as your Firebirds insider, continuing to chronicle the existence of our Firebirds franchise. Those Firebirds insider articles may be found online, as with all things Firebirds, at cvfirebirds.com. That's your hockey home and hub for everything from merchandise information, roster, community, front office. It's all on there at cvfirebirds.com. Per the presenting sponsor of this endeavor, Desert Willow Golf Resort, also located right here in sunny Palm Desert, California, a mere 3.5 miles away from the Birds Barn of Acrisure Arena, home to the Mountain View and Firecliff courses, respectively, 36 exceptional holes, both of which can be played. They can be yours by visiting desertwillow.com. Get those tee times today. And here, in the middle of May, I got to say, it's becoming an awesome shoulder season. While I'm recording this now, it's like 82 and a little bit overcast. Perfect golf day. Perfect time and opportunity to get over to Desert Willow. Oh, and when you're poking around at desertwillow.com, be sure to check out the offerings of the excellent and on-site Palm Desert Golf Academy. Should probably also note, Desert Willow note, Mountain View course is going to be undergoing a turf reduction project and just some scheduled summer maintenance. That's going to be happening from late June through early September. Be mindful of that as you are making and planning your Desert Willow tee times. All right, friends, not alone on this epilogue episode of the Fire and Ice podcast. We've got exit interviews, not just with a few players, not just with a couple players, not just with a handful of Firebirds, but a dirty dozen. We've got 12 different Firebirds included here in their exit interviews, which, by the way, took place on Monday, May 12th. Firebirds, great job bringing out a host of dudes. I think they brought out like 18 or 19 guys with whom to speak. That does not include head coach Derek Laxdal. His interview, which went about 10 or 12 minutes, is going to appear last because I want to build up that tension, build up that suspense as you're awaiting the season closing words from head coach Derek Laxdal. Apologies to the other 6 or 7 birds whom I could not include, but for expedition, for some time constraints, I'm giving you a dozen. By the way, yours truly, not the only one asking these questions, scrum-style questions. Shad Powers and Andrew L. John, no one knows what the L stands for, of the Desert Sun, asking some great questions. Sean Liming is in there asking some questions as well. Caitlin Kelly, representing NBC Palm Springs, asking some terrific questions to the Firebirds players, and Derek Laxdal. Kenji Ito from KESQ. Becky Glenn of the Firebirds also in there as well, asking some questions. You'll notice the omission of our guy Tim O'Brien, by the way. Tim did such an excellent job as your ringside reporter, your in-arena host, the lead sports anchor at NBC Palm Springs, doing some traveling. He was in transit, just trying to make it back to the desert today. He had some family commitments out of town. So Tim not included, but I know he very much wanted to be there. I know he would have added a lot to that media scrum. But in his stead, big backslaps to Kate and Kelly. She did an excellent job at these exit interviews for NBC Palm Springs. Few thoughts, few reflections, friends, on the season that we can now speak of in the past tense, the season that was. We learned a lot. I think we learned a lot about the realities of the AHL. We learned a lot about the American Hockey League. We learned that you don't go to the finals every season. You know, our friend here at Fire and Ice, my pal Shad Powers, he's done some adroit research, revealed that of the 32 current teams in the American Hockey League, but 10 of them have ever been to the finals twice. Firebirds obviously among them. We did it in our first 2 seasons. This year, a May conclusion to the campaign last 2 seasons played until the end of June to the summer solstice. Not to be the case this year. A May conclusion to the season, a sentence never before spoken in Firebirds history. Birds, of course, going down in 4 games to a very, very good Abbotsford Canucks squad. Birds, of course, had the series tied at 1 apiece heading north of the border, and then failed to win either of those games. In Abbotsford, scoring but 1 goal in those final 2 contests. It's no slight to the boys. They played their butts off. They played so hard, but I think that the general concurrence, the general agreement is, look, we were a little undermanned. The Birds were missing a lot of dudes, and I know it's a little patty cake. I know it's easy to say that we could have had this guy, we could have had that guy, to get into the hypotheticals, but in the Birds' case, it's true. While the Firebirds did experience some injuries and loss of key personnel over the first 2 years, i.e. Andrew Podorowski missing a lengthy stretch with injury at the end of the first regular season, early into the playoffs, if memory correctly serves. This year it was just a constant. And to envision a Firebirds lineup that could have included in these playoffs Captain Max McCormick, who did not play since the middle of January. Cale Fleury got into but the final game of this second-round series. Mitchell Stevens, whom you'll hear from shortly, obviously was injured and not able to appear at all in the series. Leighton Road, not able to appear at all in the playoffs. Look, every team has injuries. It's as synonymous as points and goals and forechecking and stick taps and all of that. But they piled up on the Birds this year. And I offer as much because I think that the team envisioned, the team that was constructed, the team when fully healthy, the team when it had Daniel Sprong before he was moved at the trade deadline, I believe, for a 7th-round pick to the New Jersey Devils. That was a team that was really flying high. And if that was a team that we had come the postseason, I firmly believe that this third version of the Firebirds was one that could have made an earnest run back to the Calder Cup finals. And that's no slight to the dudes who did dress and appear. Look, let's face it, played so many rookies this year. I think I lost count, but it's somewhere around 14 guys making their professional debuts. Not just their AHL debuts, but their professional hockey debuts. And over the course of a season and into the pressure of the playoffs, that undoubtedly adds up. These are guys still kind of getting their skate wet. These are guys, some of whom are not even old enough to legally drink. These are guys some of whom have never lived alone before. A lot of learning about professional hockey, a lot of learning about life. It's going to serve so many of these fellas well come their Firebirds futures. But for this season, it was a lot to ask against, again, a very, very good Canucks team that since the turn of the calendar to 2025, an argument can be made that they were the best team in the AHL since basically mid-January. I personally find this chapter of Firebirds' young history, this campaign, to be an important one in the overall story of the Firebirds, and that I feel that the team continued and continues to galvanize in our community in a way that maybe we weren't rather sure was entirely possible. As I said to Derek Laxdal in these exit interviews, it was very wise of the team owners and founders, and looking back and some reflection, very, very wise not to call this team the Palm Springs Firebirds, which I've no doubt was a moniker that was bandied about. They called it the Coachella Valley Firebirds, our 9 cities, a way of bringing people together, as a way of galvanizing the desert, as a way of strengthening our community around this hockey team. And I personally feel that that continued to happen and evolve and graduate here in year 3. But it does beg some questions. There are some questions left unanswered, perhaps, namely, and chief among them, is what are we as a hockey community? Are we folks that are a bandwagon community that are really going to turn out and fill this building 10,000 strong only when the finals appear? Or are we a team that's going to go through the ebbs and the flows, the ins and the outs? Are we a community that's going to go through these highs and these lows? As the man said, my man Hunter S. Thompson, you buy the ticket, you take the ride. All right, friends, I'm going to reset here eventually, but let me give you the rundown of these exit interviews. As referenced, many voices in concert with my own asking these questions. As far as those answering these questions, a dozen players for you. Some of these just a couple minutes long. Going to get underway with Ales Stejka. Going to move on to John Hayden. Mitchell Stevens, number 3, and speaking with the media today. Nicholas Brouillard follows Mitchell Stevens. Then comes Yanni Newman, Luke Henman, Jacob Melanson, Cale Fleury, goalie Nike Coco, Gustav Olofsson, Ty Nelson, Jagger Firkus, and then we'll conclude with head coach Derek Laxdal and his final comments on the season that was. So saddle up. There's some great stuff. There's some fun stuff. There's some poignant stuff. There's some talk about dogs and golf and off-season vacations and plans and fishing and weddings, but also some very earnest and interesting reflections on the Firebirds' third season coming from all of these men with whom we spoke and from whom you are about to hear. Let's get into these exit interviews, starting with Ala Stejka.
Yes, you just Anybody want to start? Go ahead. I'll go last.
Sure, we'll jump right in, man. Season obviously concluded earlier than seasons past. Just your look back on the season that was, Des.
Yeah, I think it was a season like up and down. You know, like there was some good moments and some bad moments. You know, like every team had during the season, but the overall, like I think we had like much younger team than last year, and a lot of young guys learn a new experience, and yeah, like overall, I think it was a good season.
An assessment of your own season personally. Obviously, there was some up and down. You had to deal with some injury as well, but just an assessment of how you feel you performed.
Yeah, there was a big roller coaster, you know, and yeah, like you said, it was up and down, and yeah, I know I can play better. But yeah, the injury was there, especially before the playoffs. It's not ideal, you know. But yeah, I was playing the first NHL game. That was a positive thing, you know, and yeah, it was a big moment for us.
Probably had even that you had your pad stolen this season as well. I think so. That
Oh yeah,
that was
was
thing for you.
another thing. Yeah. There's now is the funny thing, you know, but. In that moment, I was feel like everything's over. You know, like I called them like, "Hey, I don't have the gear," and I feel like okay, my life is over. But no, now it's funny and someone enjoying my gear right now.
Thanks, man.
You've played, quite a few seasons here in the desert so far. What do you think playing here in the desert has, just meant to your career in general, and what are your overall takeaways from just playing here in the Coachella Valley?
Oh yeah, that's a good question, and it's hard to say something because last year, the first couple of weeks was like I'm somewhere on the vacation. Like, why I playing hockey here? But yeah, like then you start like the people watching hockey, the people likes to come here and support us. And yeah, it's nice, and it's especially nice like now you can go outside, you have good weather. I'm not a big fan, but my wife, yes. It's good for her, and yeah, it was a good 2 years.
This might be sort of an uncertain summer for you. I know you're a free agent, if I'm not mistaken. How do you sort of prepare for that, or what's sort of going through your mind as you look ahead to this summer?
Yeah. Nothing too much. I just like this year I want to just focus, like spend the time with the family, then start working again, be ready for next season, and I'm not thinking about it too much. I don't want to be like under stress. I was under stress last couple of days, and it was enough. And yeah, that's the plan now.
Thanks.
So do you take a break from hockey, or do you at some point in time, do you go back to work?
Sorry, I will stop you. That's not possible with the two kids.
Yeah.
They're playing ball hockey. They want to play hockey. They want to watch hockey. It's not possible to not focus on the hockey.
I see you out there with the ice.
Yeah. I didn't turn the hockey yesterday. That was the first day after maybe like 5 years. But it's not too possible. But yeah, we will maybe go somewhere else, not just hockey rink.
Expanding on that, the NHL game you played, what were your feelings like in getting that opportunity?
Oh yeah, that was an amazing time. Like amazing moment for me. If I look back, it was a good experience, and it's a lot different. Like when I saw the Kucherov made a shot on me, like the first shot on the game. I was like, please just don't hit the net. He hit my belly. I was like, thank you. But then in the third period, he scored a goal. I was like, oh shit. But yeah, it was a good experience. I'm very glad, very, very grateful to everyone who gave me the opportunity to stay there.
Stezzy, do you want to say anything to the fans that have been here for 2 years supporting you, or say thank you, or what kind of message do you have for them at the end of the season?
No, not really. Thank you. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, thank you for supporting us. And I know the people love the hockey here. It's something new for the people. And yeah, just thank you for the support during the both seasons. And we're very happy to play in front of you guys.
Did you have any exciting or fun summer plans with the family?
We'll see. I don't know. It's hard to say right now. But yeah, we'll see.
Thanks a lot, man.
You all good, guys? Start, man. Obviously, we've had the pleasure, man, of seeing you play a lot, chatting with you a lot. I have a broad question, John. The overall chronicle of the Firebirds, now in 3 seasons. How do you see this as a chapter in the franchise's history, season 3?
I think it's been a phenomenal start to this organization. There's a culture and a standard now. A lot for the guys to be proud of. Of course, this year, every year we fell short of where we ultimately wanted to get, but I think just overall, from younger guys developing to us being embraced by the community here, and a lot more wins and losses, it's been pretty good.
You referenced rather the young guys, again, over the course of the season. How do you feel about their development? How do you feel about how those guys grew and then performed in the playoffs ultimately?
It's been great to see. From watching some guys make their NHL debuts to seeing other guys make a ton of strides in their development. It's just been really fun to be a part of, and it's weird to say that those guys keep some of us veterans young, because I feel like I just got started in pro hockey, but that's the reality. Is I'm an older guy now, and it's just fun to be at the rink every day with these young guys.
John, you're like one of the very few guys who've been with this team for all 3 years. What has it meant for you in your career to be a part of this moment in time for this valley and for this organization?
This is just a special place for me. Everyone loves being here. The families are happy. My wife loves it here. It's just a great town to be in and a great organization to be a part of. And whether or not any of us are back, I know all of us will be spending time here for the rest of our lives, whether it's just a reunion trip or spending a couple weeks at a time. We just absolutely love it here.
You mentioned potential free agency. How are you sort of approaching this summer?
I haven't really had time since the last game to really sit down and think about it. So I'm sure things will happen in the next few weeks. But yeah, I haven't thought too much about it.
You guys stole one.
Don, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, you've obviously been here for 3 years, all 3 years, I should say. What has made this season like truly unique in your eyes?
This season?
Mm-hmm.
Not sure. I mean, we had a much different group, a new staff, and I thought it went really well. But each season was unique. And the first season we were in Seattle to start the year, and came here and started to get to know the community in the middle of the season, which was unique. And then, it's just been great. I have nothing but good things to say about our time here at Charlotte.
Yeah, and obviously not the result that you guys wanted, but what positives can you take coming into next season?
Like I said, more wins and losses, pushing in the right direction. I thought we had a real chance to win that series in Abbotsford. So a lot of positives, a lot to look forward to. And then, of course, like I mentioned, the development of the young guys. Whoever's here the next few years, team's in good hands.
I did want to ask you about Coach Laxdal, obviously, first year under him. What was it like to play for him?
It was great. Yeah, he understands how to coach rookies, how to coach veteran guys. He's got NHL experience, a lot of AHL experience, and it was just a really positive experience for all the players. And I thought we did really well as a team, adapting to his standards and his culture. So, yeah, I have nothing but good things to say about Lex.
Hayes, what message do you have to all the fans after being here for 3 years and a third season with them now?
Yeah, just thank you for welcoming us, and it's really cool that this is the organization where everyone wants to play now. Guys come here, they see the valley, the building, the fans, and it's now the gold standard. So it's just a special place to be. So thanks to all the fans.
Do you have any exciting summer plans this year?
I don't know. It's a unique situation to actually have a full summer. So used to play until July. So I don't know. We'll see. Thank you.
Start, man. Sure. Obviously, man, a bummer not to see you in those games. What happened that led to you or led to this wheelie?
Yeah, broke my ankle in the last game against Calgary. So definitely disappointing just because, I thought that, our team was, we had a really good group, and, I thought, I could, be a leader on this team and, helping them, win some rounds and go a little far. But, for me, it was disappointing just to have your season cut short just like that. So
You went back in that game, continued to play in that game?
yeah, a little bit. And then it was just didn't play the last, 5 or 6 minutes just because it was just knew it wasn't good. So
Yeah.
figured that, someone was going to step up in my place there. And, I thought they did. So
Watching the Abbotsford series, then obviously from a different lens, and not suiting up, not being able to play. What was your assessment of the second round?
the guys battled hard. It's playoffs. It's tough hockey. It's physical, and I think the guys, they battled all the way those 4 games that we had. So, I was sitting watching all the games, and it was tough because I wanted to be out there and battle with the guys, and but kudos to them. They didn't show that they any weakness. We just battled, go out there every day, and they were battling. So I was proud of them.
Injury aside, how do you assess your first year as a Firebird?
I thought it was good. I got the opportunity to play up in Seattle for a lot of games, and I came back down here, and for me, thought I took a big step in my leadership role here, and that's helping the young guys and to try and any way that I could, whether that's preparation or just on ice, and how I came to the rink every day, and I was happy with how that progressed.
John just mentioned that playing in the Coachella Valley has kind of become the goal for a lot of guys within the AHL just because of the crowd, the environment, the Coachella Valley at large. What are your takeaways from the desert, the fans, just your overall experience playing in the desert?
Yeah, it's been great. You can't beat the weather down here, and the people that are down here, especially you go for breakfast one day and you said, "Oh, we love the Firebirds here. It's great." And for me, it was different. I'm halfway. I'm across the country from where I live, so I enjoy my experience here. It's it's a great community, and definitely the fans are awesome.
A lot of ups and downs during this season. Obviously, not the result that you guys wanted, but what makes this season truly memorable in your career?
Yeah, I think it's just a different sort of experience for us, being so far away from home and living in California, the lifestyle here, and but for me, my game is still progressing and still learning. I'm still trying to get better every day, but different aspects of my game. So yeah, just, 1 year down, and looking forward to coming back next year.
Speaking of your leadership with the younger players, how receptive were they to inputs from the senior group and development?
You could see it, the way that they progressed throughout the year. Whether that's Furky, Goisey, all these guys, Nelly, they really took a big step, and you saw it in the playoffs how hard they were working and grinding and showing what they're capable of. And I think all our leadership group, whether that's Max, even though he wasn't playing, he was still around, and Hates and Goose and all these guys, Lash, and we just tried to show up at the rink and prepare the way we played, where we know how to prepare. Just being in the league for so long and being pros for so long, and whether the guys asked us questions or just about our preparation, it was just, you can see that they took a lot of it and matured their game.
It was impressive. It was impressive group. Getting this one season. When you were up with the Kraken, were there things that you learned in your game that you continue to learn and grow yourself? Coming back down here and applying it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the role that I was in Seattle was a two-way centerman with face-offs and penalty killing and creating energy. I think I learned a lot of face-offs through Chandler Stevenson and the way that he was taking draws, and just guys like you look up and down the lineup like Brandon Montour, the way he prepared, and for me, I will always learn. I always try to learn, to watch and learn, talk to guys, and bring some of that stuff into my own game. And kind of like what I'm trying to do here is just help the young guys when they can, and because ultimately they have enough skill and enough talent to play in the NHL. It's sometimes it's a matter of how you prepare and being ready to play every night and having that consistency.
Joe, obviously a lot of really talented young juniors coming into the franchise next year, the organization, I should say. Combined with the young group you saw this year, what can you say about the talent that the Kraken have coming into the organization?
Yeah, they definitely drafted well. You can see it, like the amount of good players that are coming here, and they're coming here to learn and get better, and ultimately play in the National Hockey League. I think, for me, it's how can I sort of help them in a sense, and whether that's just doing what I do and the way that I prepare, and sort of if someone's uncomfortable or feeling that their game's not where they want them, pull them aside and talk to them, or even just going out there and letting them watch and see how all these older guys prepare. And I think that's very important.
Steve, is there anything that you want to say to the fans?
Thanks, man. What do you feel was accomplished this season for the Firebirds, and was there something left on the table? Was there meat left on the bone for this bunch?
I mean, we definitely wanted to go further in playoffs. That's always a goal, especially with the last 2 years with the team here. They've had some good runs. But I think overall it was a pretty good season. Looking, back a little bit, it's a younger group, definitely a way younger group than the last 2 years. And I think a lot of these younger guys did a really good job, and it's definitely promising for the future of this team and this organization in Seattle. So I think overall it's really positive. I think we've done a pretty good job. Like we were first or second for a while in their division, and then we got a lot of player called up in Seattle, and those were pretty much our older players. So it's always hard on your young group when you lose your older players. But I think that the young guys did a really good job at stepping up. Overall, I think it was a good season for the Firebirds.
For your first season here, this being your first season here, from the arena, fan base,
I don't know, just the whole scene, living here, the vibe. Did it meet your expectations? Or
Oh,
surpass your expectations?
it exceeded my expectation, to be honest. It really exceeded. The fans are amazing. You even get recognized sometimes when you go out in the city, and that never happened to me in the AHL. So that's really cool. Fan base is unbelievable. The rink is really cool. It's probably the best, in the league. Everything about this organization is top notch, top level. We get treated really well. Also, we like personally, I love the desert. I love the warmth of the city. I had a pool at my house, and I was jumping in every day, so that was cool. And also, the golf aspect is really nice. On days off, we get to go out there and take our minds off things. And I think overall, it's one of my best experience I've ever had in my pro career. So I was really really glad to get to experience the Valley this year.
Turning the page now to the off season, what are some areas that you're specifically going to be working on as you look towards next season?
I'm always trying to work out on my defensive game. That's on the ice. Having good stick, trying to close out quicker in the corners, and maybe working on my gap a little bit. But also trying to gain strength. That's always a goal in the summer, to come back stronger every season. So I'll definitely be working in the gym and on the ice.
You're going to be working in the gym out here?
I'm going. Yeah, I'll stay here for a little bit, probably till the end of May, beginning of June, and then I'll go back to Montreal, back home, and that's where I work out, and that's where I practice in the summer.
You look at the young group that Firebirds have. What can you say about this group and the talent and the development that they had this year?
I think it was really good. The older guys, I think, did a really good job to it. At showing them the way, and I think they followed every step of the way. I think the older and the younger guys were getting along really well, and these younger guys, I think they did a tremendous step. Going from junior to pro is a big step, and sometimes when you're young, you don't really see it. But I think all these players really improved, and it's at this level here. It's really the details, the battles, the work, the wall plays, the stick positioning, a lot of stuff that they don't think about in junior. But I think these young guys did a really good job this year at improving on that, and I feel like on the defensive, like I'm thinking about Nelson and Ottavine, and they did a really good job on the back end, and up front or forward. Like when you're thinking about just like Furcus, Goyette, Morrison, Winterton is their second year, but they already play like veterans, I think the younger guys like Roeder, they all did a really good job, and they really help us having success this year. And I think it's, like I said, it's promising for the future of this team and for the future of Seattle.
Yanni, great season for you, man. You were an all-star, obviously in this very building. How would you assess your season?
Yeah, it's a great season. So good, so many good memories. So many times the first season is not easy when you go to other country, but that's a very good base to playing, and the all stars and a couple games to NHL, and it's so many great memories.
Yeah. Your views of the Abbotsford series. Obviously, the Firebirds had some struggles putting the puck in the net toward the end, but very hard-fought series against a really good team throughout. How did you see the round two against Abbotsford?
Yeah, they're playing so good. The playoff is so different, and we know the best doing the score, but it's so hard. So hard, of course, but yeah, they play so good.
Including yourself, obviously, a great collection of young Firebirds coming back for next year, whether some make the Kraken. We'll see how that all shakes out. Why do you think that the league, why do you think should the AHL be aware that the Firebirds have now a seasoned group of young guys coming back for what will be the fourth season of Firebirds hockey?
Yeah, we have so many good young players, and I think next year we have so many younger players too. And this so good team, and we playing last 2 years. We playing the finals, and this season is a little bit bad, but I don't know. The next season is new.
You're on a great season. Is there a particular part of your game you feel like you could work on and step up to even take it to another level?
Yeah, I trust if when I'm training hard, I'm playing very well, and I trust the process.
Yanni, you had the chance to go up to Seattle. What were some takeaways playing up in the NHL and then coming back? And what experiences did you learn from your time up in Seattle?
Yeah, the unforgettable memories. I mean, the great memory, and now I know what is the NHL, and I mean, we playing so hard like to NHL. It's a little bit different. I mean, yeah.
For you, for everything that you've done, AHL All Star, being called up, being one of the fan favorites here, for you, is this a season to remember?
Sorry.
Is this a season to remember for you since you did so much this year?
Sorry, I don't understand this question.
It's all good.
Yanni, this being your first season with the Firebirds and experiencing the fans out here, is there anything you want to say to them at the end of this season for all their support?
Thanks everyone support, and thanks for coming to watch the games, and big thank you.
What do you have planned for this summer?
Relax, hang out with my family and friends, training. Thank you.
Great.
A non-hockey question here.
Yeah.
You know, being out here for 3 years, what have been some of your favorite courses to play out on the golf?
We've been really fortunate to get out to a lot of good spots. My top three is probably Stone Eagle. We got up to Madison Club, and I like Toscana a lot. Yeah, those are probably my top three. Yeah, so we've been very fortunate. Yeah, we've a lot of the core guys who have been here a while. We've met a lot of good people, a lot of some people who are members that are at these courses, and the hospitality that they have for us has been unreal. So great.
You know, the uniqueness of having so many great courses out here, does that help build like team chemistry with you guys go out and play together?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, for one thing for me is like, when I on days off or whatever, when I go out on the course, like it's 4 or 5 hours where I don't really think about hockey and can kind of get your mind away from it. I think it's kind of the same with everyone. So it's really nice, and not many teams have that luxury in this league. So, we definitely don't take it for granted, and we're very fortunate. So.
Now, a hockey question for me would be, you're a little bit of a older young guy, I guess, maybe still a young veteran, let's say.
Yeah.
Because I think you just turned 25, right?
Yeah.
So, a young veteran, but this team was very young this year. What can you say about the development you guys had throughout the course of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been great. I think you see a lot of those young guys take big steps, and this is a tough league to play in. It takes some time to adjust, and I think you saw that early on in the year. But I think we have a great core here, a great group of leaders who kind of paved the way for these young guys, and they did a phenomenal job. And we obviously came up a little bit short, and we wish we were still playing, but super proud of everyone and how hard everyone played.
One of the things different about this year from the previous two was Coach Laxdal being at the helm. What was it like to play for him, and was it different in any way?
Yeah, it was great. Obviously different, like every coach is different, but Lax is really easy to get along with. He's very honest. You compete and you work hard and you show up to work every day, and you have no problems with him. And I think I love playing for him, and I think a lot of guys did. And I think that the young guys too kind of he's really good with the young guys, and that's why a lot of them took big steps. So nothing but good things to say.
Would you say, Luke, to a fan base that obviously we got very spoiled in the first 2 years, made to the finals the first 2 years, but learned some of the realities of the American Hockey League in season 3?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's, it's like any team in any sport, like, you want to win every year, but
there's also 32 other teams trying to do the same, and I think we gave everything we had. I don't think any of us have any regrets. But yeah, it sucks. I'd love to play till July 1st every year. There's nothing better than doing that, and I think this organization is becoming, that's the standard, a winning organization. Like, we're not happy with not playing right now, kind of thing. So I think that's great for the city and great for the fans, and they're a big reason for it.
Why is this season, you think, season 3, an important chapter in the Firebirds' young history?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a bit of a transition. More of a veteran team the last 2 years, and then kind of transitioned a little bit. A lot of turnover and a lot of younger guys coming in, but that didn't mean that this year whatever. Like, if we miss the playoffs or whatever, it's all good. We're a young team. Like, none of us had that mindset, and it starts from up top with the coaching staff and the veterans, and it just we expect to win. So.
Penny, 3 years now with the Birds here, and you've been a fan favorite since year 1. Is there anything that you want to say to the fans at the end of the season?
Yeah, I'm just so grateful for all the fans. I mean, out in the community, whether it's out in the community or at the rink, always feeling the love and the support. It goes such a long way. Always the reason that all of us come to the rink with a smile on our faces. The fans are a big part of that, and I'm so grateful to be able to be here for 3 years with these fans.
Do you have any fun summer plans?
Not much. I might travel home and spend some time at home, and I think I'm going to get married this summer, so that'll be fun. And then play some golf, hang with some friends, and get to work. We're gonna have a little ceremony, get eloped this summer, but our actual wedding will be in the summer of 2026. So yeah, so that's what I meant by that. It is happening, but awesome.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, and maybe congratulations. Yeah. Start with this one, man. Obviously, the motivation, not just for the younger guys, but for the veterans. You guys all want to make it to the National Hockey League. At the same time, how do you balance that out with eventually and hopefully add more banners into Acrisure Arena?
yeah, I mean, obviously no one knows where they're going to be yet. I mean, obviously we want to bring something here. Obviously this year we fell short, but I think the effort was there, and really I look back on it with no regrets. We gave it all throughout the year, and I'm really proud of this group and proud of the younger guys that came in and really took a big step this year.
This next question might sound stupid. Maybe it is, dude. It's rare to see Jacob Melanson without like 8 cuts on your face, man. And I appreciate that. It shows how you play hockey. But is the summertime, literally, is it the time for your face to heal up?
Yeah, no, exactly. I got a few weeks here to let it heal and get back to normal. But I mean, that's part of the way I play. Like Disco would always say last year, if I don't have a cut on my nose, I'm not playing good enough. So I mean, it's kind of it comes with the way I play. So I mean, it's always going to be there.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about this year. It was a little more tricky than previous years as far as a lot of guys getting called up, a lot of injuries, things to work around. Was it hard to get sort of a consistent feel because of those things?
Yeah, a little bit. Obviously, at the start of the year, I mean, a few of us got hurt, myself included, and a few guys were called up. So I mean, we never really had our full lineup, and it's tough. But I mean, a lot of guys that were getting less ice time really got to prove themselves when they did get the chance, and I feel like a lot of guys really proved that they can play, and it showed a lot.
Yeah, a lot has been made about how young this group was this year. Going to be young again next year, but to your point, that a lot of guys really took a step forward. Is that like an encouraging sign for you guys that so many guys, young guys, have shown that they can play at this level?
Yeah, it's massive. I mean, I know how I felt last year coming in, and it was tough. Like, it's a big adjustment, and for some of the guys to be able to come in here and really not look like they're first year players, great. And I don't think that we looked that young in playoffs. I think we played a very physical, hard game, and I think a lot of guys really proved that
they can't play playoffs in the AHL.
What are a few things that you personally want to work on in the offseason?
Yeah, I mean, I think the same stuff I worked on last year, just my skating, my speed, and obviously my stick handling and hands and stuff like that. Obviously, me wanting to move up next year, I need to work on that stuff, and I need to be better with the puck in some spots, and I feel like that will help me.
Really, at the end of this season, is there anything you want to say to all the fans that supported you?
I'd just like to say thank you. I mean, you guys have been a big part of our success the last 3 years, and everything that you guys do, you guys show up all the time for us, and we can't thank you guys enough for being there and supporting us.
Do you have any fun summer plans?
I don't. I mean, we just got a dog a few months ago, so we're going to be busy with them, so no trips this year, so just straight to training.
Perfect.
Alrighty, Firebirds flock, just a brief and quick reset here on this epilogue episode of the Fire and Ice podcast. The gentlemen from whom you just heard, Ala Stejka, John Hayden, Mitchell Stevens, Nicholas Brouillard, Yanni Newman, Luke Henman, and Jacob Melanson. Coming up next, you're going to hear interviews from Cale Fleury, goalie Nikki Coco, Gustav Olofsson, Ty Nelson, Jagger Furcus, and lastly, but certainly not least, Firebirds head coach Derek Laxdal. Pardon me, Lax. As a reminder of those asking the questions, along with yours truly, Shad Powers and Andrew John of the Desert Sun, Sean Liming asking questions, Caitlin Kelly from NBC Palm Springs, Kenji Ito from KESQ, and the Firebirds' own Becky Glenn. All right, let's get back to these Firebirds exit interviews.
Obviously not. Yeah, it sucks. They had a good team, real deep team up front. I mean, got guys with multiple years NHL experience, like on their third, fourth line. I think they're built for a pretty good run.
But considering that, though, you guys held your own. They didn't blow you out of the water. You just guys took defense.
Yeah, no, we played good. Obviously, we have a little bit of a younger team, but it's no excuse. We have a lot of good players, and I think we all battled hard in the playoffs and gave it our all.
Yeah, you just mentioned that you did have a younger team. You went from the oldest team in the AHL to the third youngest. What did you see from this young team, and what do you think is going to be the key to more success next year?
Yeah, I definitely felt old pretty quick over one off season. But I think, kind of just like I said, like we had a young team, but it's a lot of good players. We had two guys come in who were, I think, top in their league in scoring with Ferguson and Goyette. Don't quote me on that, but we had a good firepower coming in from junior, and then obviously you guys like Leighton Road had a good first year despite the injuries. Yeah, I think the team's going to be in a good spot moving forward.
And what are your takeaways playing under Coach Laxdal?
I like Laxie a lot, especially as an older guy. He's kind of gave me a long leash this year as far as off-ice stuff or getting maintenance days to kind of do some load management with kind of how much ice time I was getting. So on my end, it was great.
How do you feel like year 3 in Firebirds history went, and how do you feel like it sort of compares to the first two as far as the natural progression of a young team, a new team?
I think it was great. The fans were good as per usual. I'm sure the All-Star game was great. I wasn't here, but I'm sure they were great for that too. I think obviously the playoffs didn't go as we in the fan base hope, but even just the last couple of days of just hanging around here, we've had people come up to us and say how much they enjoyed the year and just like thanking us and stuff like that. And just goes a long way, just knowing you have the support of the community, even if you don't make it to the finals every season.
For you, Cale, you had about a dozen days, 11 days, somewhere's in there between playoff games. What did it take for you to get back to that Game 4 against Abbotsford?
Kind of just like you said, it was the time. Obviously, I would have liked to have been out there for every game if my body could have let me, but at the end of the day, it could have been worse playing in a game earlier and then just holding me out for longer. So we took necessary time and kind of all the steps we could do to get me back, and it worked out well.
Yeah. How far, how fast, how hard do you have to push yourself to be able to get back like that as soon as possible in the postseason?
Yeah. Unfortunately for mine, it wasn't really much I could do, like, other than just having the time and kind of doing as much soft tissue and like stuff like that. So I was definitely going through a lot of pain, but Wasn't so much me grinding, working really hard.
Blair, is there anything you want to say to all the fans who supported your plan this season?
Yeah, I think just like I said earlier, just like having a supportive community is huge. If you see the Firebirds next season out in the community, don't be shy. Go say hi. Go say how much you love a certain player. I think you guys love hearing that from the fans. So if you see a guy out in public next year, don't be shy.
Do you have any summer plans?
I'm just going back to Calgary. Nothing crazy. I'm going Cole Lynn's wedding. That's my only plan this summer.
Yes.
Yeah. Nikkei, what do you feel that yourself and the other younger Firebirds, the 20, 21, 22-year-old guys, ultimately took away from these Calder Cup playoffs? What did you guys learn as a younger group?
Yeah, I think it's really good experience. Playoff games are a little bit different, and I think it's really good experience for young players. And
how did you feel the playoffs were different from the regular season now that you've had a few days to look back at those games?
I think playoffs is a little bit harder. Players, like everyone, it's small details. Need to do a lot of winning things, and I think it's more like small details need to do really good, and
What was your impression of AHL hockey, the level? Was it what you expected, or was it tougher? I don't know. How did you feel about AHL?
AHL. Yeah, it's good, really good league, and this year that was my first year here, and it was faster and for certain Europe, and players is quicker and do the things a lot of faster.
In what way do you feel like you're better now than you were at the start of the season?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's good thing.
Okay, thank you.
I was speaking with Gino Lamont the other day, and he said that you're going to be an NHL star. How does that make you feel hearing that?
Hopefully someday. I work hard every day and try to. I want to be there someday.
What are your plans for the off season to prepare for next season?
I rest now a little bit and start to work out, and then when I feel I want to go back to skating, I go to skate, and I have a couple of vacation, and I want to spend time with my family and friends, and I go AC/DC concert, so I think that is cool thing.
You had some time with the Kraken as well. How much did that help you learn how to bring up your play, your style of play?
When I was in Seattle.
Yeah, and how did that help you grow, and what you need to learn to get back and play there at that level?
They are, when they drafted me, they are like, we are like stay connected. Like a lot of and talking how I can be better, and of course it was really nice too when I was in Seattle, and that was good experience and I'm like hungry more for to go there.
Coco, at the end of the season, fans started developing a Coco chant for you behind the goal. Is there anything that you want to say to the fans for their support for you this year?
I am really, really happy, and I like our fans. They do my feel really comfortable play here, and I'm really happy for our fans and really thankful.
Thank you, man. Great season.
Good job.
Bruce, this season, of course, ended earlier than the 2 seasons previous, but why was season 3, in your mind, still an important one in the story of the Firebirds?
Yeah, I think different circumstances, different team. A whole lot of new challenges too with call-ups and injuries, and I think just the way we persevered and played at the end. I think it's a huge testament to our group and our leadership and our coaching staff and the way the organization wants things run here. So yeah, just proud of our group, and definitely a lot different from years past, but very good experience in the end.
Yeah. What would you say to a fan base, great fan base that has enjoyed these 2 runs to the finals and ended shorter this year? Like, hey, this is some of the realities of the American Hockey League.
Yeah. Our goal is to make it all the way and be the last team standing. But we're just appreciative to play here in front of these fans, and we're glad we have these expectations that are set, and I think it drives us. And just thankful for playing here, and it's a great place to be a part of.
Well, I've been asking a lot of the veteran guys about Coach Lax. That was something different about this year, having him at the helm. What was his coaching style like? How did you enjoy playing for him?
It was great. Definitely different from Disco, but very good in every sense. And I think we had a good bridge between him, communication with the leadership group, and also what our message was and how we wanted to play, and also things off the ice. How we take care of ourselves and in the community as well. And I think it just kind of was pretty seamless through him and throughout our team. And I think, towards the end here, we played some of our best and hardest hockey. And I think that is, part of trusting in your coach, believing in your coach, and coming together as a group. So I think it was a great fit for us.
What do you think that is going to be the focus of your off season as you look ahead to next year?
Take a little regroup now, and take some time away from hockey, I think, first, and then just get the body back to where it needs to be. And the past 2 summers have been very short, so this one will be more of a traditional style where you'll have a little bit more planning to do and a little bit more time to get to where you want to be. Just getting the body ready for another season, basically.
You've been here since day one of the Firebirds, and you've seen the fan base kind of grow and adapt and learn hockey throughout the years. Is there anything you want to say to them at the end of the 3rd season?
No, it just means a ton. Even the community, from neighbors to other parents at my kids' school, we're just thankful for the support, and we can't wait to see you guys next year.
Do you have any fun summer plans?
We'll try to travel a little bit. Wisconsin and Sweden are on the list. Yeah.
Right next to each.
First season of the American Hockey League. What was your takeaway on how the season went for you, and what were your impressions on playing with this young group?
Yeah, it was amazing. I think just coming in as a first year, just trying to be able to learn and take in as much as I can from everybody here, and I feel like I did a very good job. And the guys we have here were amazing. All the older guys, the coaches, everybody was so vocal, and if you had any questions, they were always open to answer it. And it was just amazing. I had great mentors. Bourgeois, Goose, Stevens, Hayden, they all took me underneath their wing, and just trying to learn from those guys because they're best at what they do, and just trying to learn from those guys. But yeah, I felt it was a really good year for myself, and just being able to learn and grow as a player, and looking forward to continuing that.
What are your impressions on the young core group that are in the Kraken organization, and in addition to the guys that you have possibly coming into the organization?
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be amazing. We had a lot of young guys this year, and you've seen, guys were in the games and, doing very well. And, when you come up from playing junior hockey, there's an adjustment period. But, just seeing how everybody played and just talking to the guys, everybody fought hard until the very end. And just seeing how hard the young guys worked, whether, we were in the lineup, not in the lineup, everybody came to work every day with a smile on their face. And so I think it's very exciting, and, we got a pretty good future here.
Let's go ahead.
There's been sort of a resounding sentiment with a lot of the guys we've spoken with that this is really the destination spot for guys in the AHL. They really like to play here. what is your overall impression of the Coachella Valley, and would you agree?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you get sun 365 days a year. I mean, from where I played junior, it's snow for 6 to 8 months. Like it's really cold, but being here, the sun's out every day. You can go golfing on off days. It's amazing. I mean, I've been to a couple places around the league, and nothing quite fits as it does here. I mean, it's amazing, and I love the valley.
I was going to ask you a question of the AHL in general, the level of play in this league. What were you impressed by it, surprised by it? Was it what you expected? How did you feel like the AHL was?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really gauge when you didn't play a game. Like I was here for the past 2 playoff runs, and I never got into a game, but just it's going to be a harder league. It's going to be tougher, bigger, stronger, faster, and just being able to come in, and then obviously once you get those first games under your belt, you really kind of realize what the game's like and how much more physical and fast the guys are. But I mean, it takes time. I mean, like things with everything, the more you play, the more comfortable you get, and I feel like that's something that really helped me out. Was the more games that I played, the more comfortable I felt, and really, kind of getting back to playing my game, and that's the way I felt. You can always assume that it's never the same as when you actually get in there. Yeah.
I think, Ty, that comfortability was visible for all of us. I mean, exactly what we hope to see out of a rookie season in the AHL, rather, from October to come playoff time. You're having a lot of great minutes, man, a lot of very effective minutes, and looked more confident out there than you would have in October. Did you feel that within yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just, being able to be relied on and playing in those big minutes, just trying to step up when, some of our key guys were out, like Kale and Goose, and just trying to, do as much as I can to help the team win every night. And I feel like, the more, like I was saying earlier, the more you play, the more comfortable you get, and that's something that I really thrive off of. And, I felt I did a pretty good job of that this year.
Was there any particular aspect of your game that you thought matured over the course of the 7 months?
Yeah, I feel like just, one of the main goals of this year, like doing defensive work with Stu, just, my defending and how I make myself, a better defender and how to be able to defend at the NHL level. And that's something that, I've really tried to hone in and work on a lot. And, I feel like it's come a long way. I mean, obviously there's always room for improvement, and I feel like that's just something that I'm most proud of this year.
You speak of building the confidence, and notice you on the ice when there's face-offs, you're very vocal and trying to plan out the play and whatnot. Is that help you build yourself up and in your leadership skills with the group?
Yeah, I mean, that's something I feel like I've always done just, in junior hockey. That's something that, like you got face-off plans, like you want to always try and be prepared and, try and pull a quick one, I guess, on the other team. And, that's something that me and my D partner, we love to do, just call face-off plays, try and get something going in the offensive zone, or whether it's defensive zone, try and get some stuff going. But yeah, I feel like that's something that has really helped out, just being able to, be able to talk to those guys and be able to call those plays and those sort of things.
Nelly, is there anything you want to say to all the fans of the season?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you guys for an amazing first year. You guys made it very memorable, and, I'm looking back to being in the Valley next year.
How do you assess play this season that the Firebirds involved?
I think it was a pretty good season. I think obviously throughout a hockey season with lots of ups and downs, and I think I did a good job of handling them. And I mean, obviously you don't want to be done hockey this soon, but it was a good season. I think I grew my game a lot, so I'm happy with it.
What are you going to be looking forward to building on yourself in your play for next year?
There's lots of things to improve on. I think obviously you always want to work on the cliche answers like speed and strength, but even on ice, just trying to grow a 200-foot game, it's obviously really important. You realize that this year, being in your first year pro, how important just consistency and having a 200-foot game is for just having the coaches trust in you and wanting to be out there in the big situations.
What did you learn about the level of play of the AHL in your eyes? Was it what you expected? Or?
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, I got 72 games to kind of grow and be a part of the team, and this year there's obviously a lot to assess. And this year I think it's just trying to understand how important consistency is. Like I said, obviously it's such a long season and you're playing against such bigger guys and strong guys that you have to be ready to go every single night.
You got to play a little couple years ago here. Obviously, a big adjustment for how young you were. You look at this year. Just can you take a step back and kind of look at how much you've grown as a player since you first got that taste of AHL hockey?
Yeah, looking back, if you look back to those 2 years ago, I think I've come a long way as a hockey player and as a person, even just getting more mature off the ice as well. And those are important things. But obviously, every year you want to grow and grow. So I'm happy that I've been.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this young group in the Kraken organization. A lot of you guys got your first season under your belt here. More guys coming in next year. What can you say about the group that you guys have of these youngsters?
Yeah, Seattle obviously has a really good prospect group, and a lot of it starts here in Coachella with the players getting your first taste of pro hockey here. So I think for the guys that are here this year for their first year, I think we all enjoyed it. It was a good time, and for the guys coming next year, it'll just make more competitive in the lineup and just kind of what you want to see in a prospect pool, I guess.
Jagger, how would you assess the difference between the regular season and the playoffs, just the style of play?
Yeah, I think it's kind of what you expected, especially playoff hockey. It's a whole new level of competitiveness, engagedness, how much everything matters. Every battle matters that much more. And it's playoff hockey. I think it's the best time of year. Obviously, it's tough that we're out this time, but I think we did a good job with the young team we had.
Yeah, is that something you'll take with you into your off season, thinking about these two playoff series?
Yeah, 100%. Something that you can learn from and grow from, and especially with the leaders we had in our room, it's a group that you really wanted to try to learn and take away from as much as you could.
Yeah, I think we established a couple months back. You come from a particularly small town, small area. Get a nice reception, I imagine, when you go home for the summer months.
Yeah, I think obviously it'll be nice to get home for summer. It's been last year had a long season, so it's been a long couple of years here, and just got to get home and get ready to get back to training, honestly.
Honestly, not the result that you guys wanted, but what are some of the positives that you can take from this season?
There's lots of positives. I think, like I said, with the young group we had, there's stretches there that it was a grind that not a lot of us are used to, that we all kind of dug in and had to put our foot forward. And I'm super happy with how I did it, and especially every other guy that was here with me. I'm happy to be there.
Is there anything you want to say to the fans of your season?
Just thank you guys. We appreciate your support, especially in the playoffs there for every game that was here. We appreciate it, and look forward to seeing you guys.
Hitters today, eh?
All-star.
Tracy, you want to come forward?
Yeah. Where's Blake? You said heavy hitters.
Oh, okay.
He's a pinch hitter.
Coach, I have a couple of quick questions from Tim on here on his behalf, but just overall thoughts on the season and thoughts on the show out.
Well, that's a two-part question. The first question I'll answer. If you look at our season in a nutshell, we went into the season with a lot of promise. We liked our team, and then we kind of got hit with the injury bug right off the hop, with our captain being out most of the year, and then obviously we had a major injury with Melanson, which really sidetracked his season, but he really bounced back with a great second half finish and obviously playoffs. And if you look at the growth of our young players throughout the season, it was incredible. And I think the fans were probably a little used to a little bit more of a veteran team, which is kind of an anomaly in the American Hockey League and the Development League. But we really liked if you look at the details and the structure of our game, part of our organizational beliefs or standards are we want to make sure the kids grow and the team grows the second half. And we really saw that. You saw our D-zone coverage get a lot stronger the second half. You saw our penalty kill was outstanding. Our power play got to the point where I think at the trade deadline it was up in first place. And then we kind of hit a wall with the special team on the power play. But when you look at the end product in the playoffs and you look at the growth of the players, I really like the way our team played, especially that Abbotsford series. the growth of our young kids, how hard they've played. That series could have went either way. So I would say, yeah, the season was a success. And if you look at the growth of our kids, and we won't see probably those results until training camp. You see these kids come in 3 months more mature, and then we get a chance to say, oh, wow, that playoff really affected him. He really took a step. Now, if you look at our young goaltender, Coco, who had a hell of a year for a first-year goaltender. So, the organization has a lot of draft picks coming through, and this is kind of the first year of that process going forward. And I think they'd be very happy to see some of the growth of these kids. Unfortunately, we didn't go as far as we want. We always want to try and win a Calder Cup. It's very hard to get there, to get through. But overall, my experience with a young team like we had this year, I know our staff are really happy with the way we finished. It was tough to go out in that best-of-5 series against Abbotsford, but I think the Coachella Valley should be very proud of their team. I know the players love playing in front of the fans here. We just did our exit interviews, and the guys just said, it's one of the best places to play in the American Hockey League. The way they're treated by the organization, the way they're treated by the fans and the people of the Valley. So that answers the second part of your question. But it truly is a special place to play. And obviously for the young draft picks coming forward, their goal is to get out of the Valley and get to Seattle. We have to understand that. But for the players that come here, and I kind of hear players already talking about, boy, I'd love to sure retire in Palm Springs or in the Coachella Valley. So it was, I would say, it was a success this year.
Coach, one of the things the Firebirds have done now over the course of 3 years isn't just hockey results. It has very much brought this area together. The founders of this team, the more I think about it, very wise and not calling this like the Palm Springs Firebirds. This is the Coachella Valley Firebirds. This is all our cities. Did you notice that in your first year here in the desert, that this team had a way of galvanizing the Valley, of bringing people together?
Yeah, that's the one thing I really noticed. I think it was the first autograph signing at Spotlight 29. Little push there. But I really noticed there just the fans. They were from all over the Valley when you were talking to them, and I was trying to get to know people, and then just kind of being a part of the Valley. My wife's a part of a equine therapy foundation here, and just seeing people all over talking about the Firebirds. So the 2 years have really galvanized the whole area, and I think the fans and the sponsors should be proud of what they have. Obviously, I think it's been a home run for the Seattle Kraken and the organization OVG of building the building where they put it. And then obviously, I think it's a destination for people to come and watch hockey. And now we're growing a fan base, and they've experienced a new experience this year. They didn't get to the finals. What they had the first 2 years is very special. And now they have to understand, hey, like from day one of training camp, it's a race. It's a race to the playoffs. And when you get to the playoffs, the sprint is on, right? So at the end of the day, I think this whole valley is just, they're going to continue to grow, and they're going to continue to understand and grow that fan base on what the American Hockey League is really about.
For you personally, what do you like to do at season's end? Do you still watch hockey? You watch the Stanley Cup playoffs, Calder Cup playoffs, or is it best for you? Do you like to step away for a little bit?
That's a great question. We just had some meetings today with our coaching staff, and one thing I told the guys to do is just put your computers down, walk away from the game for a few weeks, for a month, whatever it takes you need to do. And whereas we're coaches, we want to watch the playoffs. We'll follow the American Hockey League, and I have a good friend coaching the Milwaukee Admirals right now, and they just moved on against the Texas Stars teams I used to coach. So I'll watch that series. But once the hockey's done, I won't do any video until probably middle of July, August, and then start the ramp up for the season, because it is such a long season, and you put so much in during the season.
Coach, on a personal level, how excited are you to have, like you said, just so many young players coming back next year with the addition of guys in the juniors right now? Really exciting time.
Well, I think the fans are going to be in for a treat. If you look at some of the young players that we have this year, Jagger Fergus, Yanni Newman, you got Coco, Goyette, you can go up and down the lineup, and you get the kids coming in next year. You got Rakop, Price, Dragicevic, and then we saw a glimpse of Oscar Nygaard. it's incredible. So the fans are really going to be in for a treat next year with this young team, and you're going to see them grow right in front of you. We saw some guys grow this year and into the playoffs, and now we're going to see the next batch grow right in front of our eyes. And our goal is to take 2 or 3 guys per year and get them up to the Seattle Kraken. Not every guy can go up and play, so you're going to see guys go up and down and get bits and pieces here. Then finally they're going to go up and stick, and then they're gone, and then the next bird's going to come in, and we're going to get them into the nest, and we're going to kick them out.
Coach, it's kind of an unusual situation right now with the Kraken not having a head coach, especially for an AHL coach. A lot of times, one of your roles is kind of create continuity between the style of play. Is that, kind of how are you thinking about this summer when that announcement will come? Will there be some sort of, conversations and cohesion between you and what's happening up in Seattle?
Yeah, that's for another day. So what'll happen once Seattle hires a coach, then obviously we'll sit back and have some meetings with their head coach and their staff and see what style of play they're going to play, and we'll integrate that into our style. It's not really that much of a change. At the end of the day, everybody plays pretty well the same way. There's a couple different systems that are a little bit different, but at the end of the day, we'll try and conform to what they're doing up there. And we did make a change late in the season. I'm not going to tell you what that was, and we were really happy with it, and it really helped the way we played. So, but at the end of the day, and that was kind of in line with what Seattle was doing. So we just have to make sure that obviously when the new coaching staff goes in there, we have those conversations with them.
And how does your personal experience here compared to other places you've been at on the first year?
Well, you know what? I've been very lucky to coach in some great spots. Boise, Idaho is a beautiful city, great fan base. Austin, Texas, great city, great fan base. But I will say, though, this is probably the best spot I've been a part of. Coming in, I've never been to Palm Springs in my life in the area. My wife's been down here. And just to see how friendly the people were, everybody opened up their arms. And if you needed something, they were willing to help you out, and just the support. And you saw all the fans during the games. They're so excited to be a part of it. Just in between the whistles and the timeouts, they're dancing and singing. And it's not just the hockey, it's the experience, right? And then part of the building, and just it all plays a part. So for me, this is probably the best spot I've been a part of, and hopefully I can make it a long career here.
To give a shout out to the coaching staff and the trainers and whatnot, we see the players. How integral were their goals in helping develop this team this year?
That's a great question. We had coaching meetings this morning, and that's one thing we talked about, the chemistry and the cohesiveness of our staff. Obviously, coming in here, I knew Colin Zunil from a past experience, and I didn't know Brendan Swaney. We hired him, and Tom came in as a video coach. But after that first month, of just through training camp and the development camp, you could see this staff really develop. And we come in every day, and we have a lot of laughs. There's good energy out of our group, and I don't think there was a day we left the rink mad. We really enjoyed. We made sure that the energy that we brought reflected in our group as our team. So, and then obviously our training staff, Rick did a great job with the strength conditioning, and Bernie with the therapy, and Thorny with the equipment. So they have a good thing going here with the staff here, and hopefully we can keep that going forward next year. But the group is, if you ask the players, when the players come to this building every day, you have to make sure it's fun for them and there's good energy. And through all our exit meetings, the players are very happy with the way, these guys have been a part of different coaching staffs, and then they really said positive things about our staff. So that's good to know going forward.
Sorry, go ahead.
This year, you had a young team, and we watched them grow, progress, and as you've educated us on, coming from the juniors into the AHL and learning and growing. With a lot of those core players coming back, do you anticipate, I know it's early, but going the next season, having to go through that same process, or a little bit different with a more mature group?
Well, we're going to have more rookies coming through next year, and you're going to have more rookies coming through the year after that. That's American hockey. That's just what it is. What you guys had the first 2 years, again, we talked about, was a bit of an anomaly. So now I think for the fans' perspective, you're going to see these players grow right in front of you. And then, when you see a player go up to the Seattle Kraken, and they're going to have that growth in the NHL. So going forward, the guys that were here this year, we expect and we hope that they take a step next year going forward. And I always talk about paying it forward. So these players that were here this year, when the new players come in next year, they can help them take that extra step and pay it forward. So what you do is you breed a culture where it just looks after itself in time. And that's one thing that our veterans have done the first 2 years of the organization here. The veterans that they had in here were paying it forward to the kids like the young Ty Nelsons and the guys like that. So now those kids can pay it forward going next year. And once you build that culture in your organization, it really moves the machine naturally. And that's one thing that we saw this year. Our group went forward naturally. We were in first place, I think, in beginning of March. And then all of a sudden the trade deadline hit, we get some guys called up, and you saw how tight this division is. So those experiences that our young players went through, the peaks and the valleys, will set them up for next year, and then it'll help the young kids coming through next year. One thing is when you get into the playoffs, anything can happen. And we feel the team that we had this year, we were missing, Fleury, Stevenson, Max McCormick, and Roeder. And I said this, I think I said this in February, I would put up our team against anybody going into the playoffs. And we really feel as a staff and organization that we probably could have taken another step to the next round or even get into the division or the conference finals, just because we really liked our group and just the way they were galvanized and the way they played for each other. They played as a family. So I think going forward, I think the fans, we appreciate your support this year. We appreciate all the cheering that went on. And there were some great times and there were some tough times and there were some tough losses at the end of the day. And, we live those losses just as hard as the fans do. But at the end of the day, I think they have a great thing going here. They got a great arena, they got a great fan base, and they got a great organization. So I think there's nothing but great times ahead.
All right, Firebirds flock. It's going to wrap it up not only for another episode, but yes, another season of Firebirds hockey, and thus the Fire and Ice podcast presented by Desert Willow Golf Resort. So appreciative of your time, your interest, your ears, your ongoing support of this broadcast endeavor over the course now of 3 seasons and 52 episodes. Great exit interviews from the gents today, so appreciative of all their time, and the Firebirds organization for doing a terrific job setting this up, being very organized with everybody's time today. My fellow media members, Shad Powers, Andrew John, Sean Liming, Caitlin Kelly, Kenji Ito, Becky Glenn from the Firebirds also chiming in, all doing a great job asking the questions in those exit interviews. Presenting sponsor of this endeavor, Desert Willow Golf Resort. Wow, we're really enjoying an excellent shoulder May season here in the Valley. Perfect time to go tee it up at either the Mountain View or Firecliff courses, or heck, go make it a 36-day. Go play both. Get those tee times online at desertwillow.com. And when you're on there poking around, when you're on there swinging around, check out the excellent and on-site Palm Desert Golf Academy. Perfect time to get tuned up with all your golf instruction and swing tutelage needs. Again, that's all online at desertwillow.com, right here in sunny Palm Desert, California. Friends, at the end of the season, there's only going to be one team and one market and one audience that's wholly satisfied, and that's the one that is ultimately holding the Calder Cup at year's end. And yet, we press on in that pursuit, trying to grab that brass wing. We broadcast on, we write on, we videograph on, we cheer on, and we continue to support our Coachella Valley Firebirds, a team and an organization and a franchise and an entity that has been a big difference, been a game changer for where we live here in this market, for where we live on these desert sands, for where we live in the Coachella Valley. Thank you again, everybody, for such a great season and all your support of this endeavor. Until next year, until next time, remember, as always, one valley, one team, rising together.